when a crowd can be called an unlawful assembly. Who can control unlawful assembly? Police, magistrate, or armed forces. Let's understand the whole concept with the provisions of the new criminal laws. Now, the term unlawful assembly is defined under section 189 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. If we talk about Indian Penal Code, then it was covered under section 149. To treat any assembly as unlawful assembly, there should be two ingredients. One, there should be 5 or more members. Secondly, the assembly should have a common object. Now, the common object should be the one which is mentioned in the provision itself. There are 5 common objects which are mentioned. 1. To use or show off the criminal force. Second, to resist the execution of any law. Third, to commit the offense of mischief, criminal trespass, or any other offense. Fourth, to do something which is legally prohibited or to omit something which is legally bound to do. Fifth is to take possession of any property forcefully. Now, if any of the ingredient is missing, then the assembly cannot be treated as unlawful assembly. Now, unlawful assembly creates a problem of public order. So, it is important to disperse or control the unlawful assembly. The provision related to dispersal of unlawful assembly is covered under section 148 to 151 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Or if we talk about CRPC, it was covered under section 129 to 132 of the CRPC. Now, the provision says that if there is an unlawful assembly, then executive magistrate or officer in charge of the police station can disperse that assembly. If the officer in charge of a police station is not available, in that case, the power can be exercised by any officer, but the officer must not be below the rank of sub-inspector. Secondly, the officer or the executive magistrate can disperse the assembly using force, but they can't use armed forces. To disperse the assembly, they can also take assistance of a person. They can arrest and confine the persons or punish them as per the provisions of law. Now, if by all these means the assembly cannot be dispersed, in that case the executive magistrate can take the help of armed forces. Now, the armed forces includes Army, Navy and Air Force. Now, armed forces can use the proportionate force which is necessary to disperse the assembly. They can also arrest and confine a person or punish the person as per the provisions of law. Now, if there is a situation where executive magistrate is not present, in that commissioned or gazetted officer of armed forces can disperse the assembly provided there is a threat of public security. Now, if any person, member of armed forces or any other officer who disperse the unlawful assembly cannot be treated as committing an offense if they all acted in good faith. But if any prosecution is initiated under this chapter against any person, member of armed forces or officer, then that prosecution can be initiated only after taking a prior sanction of the central government if that person is a member of armed forces or officer, and in any other case the prior sanction of state government is required. I hope you liked the video, and please share this video with your friends who are going to appear in any judicial exam or UPSC.